All right, guys, get your questions in using hashtag Michigan. We're going to take your questions live on air. Alicia, if you don't have all the hashtag Michigans on YouTube, on Facebook, if you see any good questions, just toss them up there. But if you want to make sure we see it, you want to make sure we answer that question, use the hashtag Michigan. It pops right up at the top of the queue, guys. So if you want to just skip your place in line, if you want to have that TSA pre to James Yoder's mind via Alicia, make sure you use hashtag Michigan. Coming up at the end of the show after grades, hashtag offense, hashtag defense. Let's take a look. Trey Stone King, a loyal watcher. Trey, really appreciate all the interaction we have on YouTube, on Twitter. Hashtag Michigan, do you think the Michigan offense is getting better, or do you think it was just played as a lesser team? Well, just was texting with my dad before we went live. He was at the game with my nephew, Lucas Fain. Shout out to him. First game at the big house. He just turned 8 years old a month ago, so want to make sure I gave him a shout out in case they were watching on the drive home from Ann Arbor back to Cleveland, Akron, Ohio area. So Trey, good question. I don't know. I certainly thought that the strategy looked a lot more smooth than it did against Wisconsin. I thought the execution looked a lot better. I thought the offensive line looked a lot better. And I thought the running game had some semblance of, I don't want to say strategy, the word strategy again, but the running game had some semblance of purpose. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're going to find out next week against Iowa. As of now, top 15 Iowa team coming into the big house for homecoming next Saturday, high noon again in Ann Arbor. Guys, Michigan was a 27.5 point favorite. It fluctuated from 29 to 27. It finished at 27.5. 49-point over-under. If you follow me on Twitter, you would have saw that I bet on this game. If you're in our Chat Sports gambling pool, you also saw that I bet on Michigan, 27.5. I just did not think Rutgers could score on Michigan's defense, no matter how bad they've looked against Wisconsin. And I was proven right. Maybe I didn't think a shutout, but I thought maybe 7 points. I thought that Michigan would get those plays on special teams, would get some momentum going on offense and out hustle. I thought maybe 35 to 3 or 41-7. But I won money on the game. I'm printing it today already. I'm having a really good weekend. Everything's getting off good, and I'm winning it with BetDSI, our sportsbook partner. Watch it now, guys. You can bet on college football games today. You can wait till the lines come out tomorrow from Michigan, Iowa. Get the best line right out of the gate before the pros like me move it one way or another. So get going with BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. Redirection to BetDSI. Make sure you click promo code GoBlue. You get 120% deposit bonus. Quick math. You go to the bank, you give them $100. They're like, thank you for depositing $220. Same philosophy here. You give BetDSI $100 with your first deposit. You get an extra $120. It's a 120% deposit bonus, all the way up to $500 for a free $600. You have $1,100 in your bank. I use BetDSI. Recommend you guys do. Keep it rolling. Hashtag Michigan on our Michigan football grades. Taylor Wingfeld says, do you think fans have a reason to be impressed with this win? I do, yeah. I'm pretty excited about this win. I thought that Shea Patterson looked healthy for the first time since, the first play maybe of Middle Tennessee. I know for a fact from talking to people close to Shea that he got hurt on that play. And I was the first one to report that a couple days after that game when everyone else was saying I was full of crap. But I do think Michigan fans have a lot to be excited about that game. Shea looked good, the wide receivers looked good, the team chemistry looked good, and the defense gave up nothing. We have seen years past, Jim Harbaugh coached teams and others, Brady Hoke, Rich Rod, Lloyd Carr, where crap teams would put up 14 points on Michigan or 20 points or give those garbage time touchdowns. Michigan showed me depth today. You saw some freshman linemen, you saw some Daxton Hill, you saw redshirt freshman Cam McGrone. So I think we're going to start seeing that three-man line is going out the window. You saw a little bit today, but for the most part, Michigan kind of did not use it. At least we can go through those lower thirds at any point, too, if you want. The Yoder's takeaways. Got a lot of my takeaways we'll kind of scroll through as we're taking these questions. But I think fans have a reason to be impressed. But I'm not going to jump into the Kool-Aid, bucket of Kool-Aid, and start drinking it until they do it against a top 20 team like they're going to have the opportunity to next week against Iowa. Trey Stone King again. Do you think Daxton Hill will get much more time on defense? I think because he's proved he can play. Absolutely. As I said, he looks like a difference maker to me, right? He looks like a guy who can make plays for Michigan football. And that's the kind of guys Michigan needs out there. I am sorry. I know it's a different position, but Jordan Glasgow has a lot of heart and certainly gives his all and is getting every ounce out of his talent, but he got his ankles broken a few times against Rutgers players, right? And they were simple moves. It was like the Rutgers guy goes like this, and Jordan Glasgow fell over. Didn't really fall over, but it was like a basketball game kind of move where you just like juke to the guy to the left, and they call it breaking his ankles. Not literally breaking his ankles, but you guys understand what we're talking about. So I think there's some excitement to happen in this defense. I think Dax Hill will continue to get a ton of playing time. He was in there. I stopped kind of watching every single play in the fourth quarter and documenting what guys were in, but he looked like he was in there from the second quarter on, every single play on defense. So exciting things from Dax and Hill. Free thinker, I like that name. That's a way to live life. Should McGrone start over Glasgow? Glasgow is starting. I mean, I don't know if they're the same position, right? Like, they've been calling Jordan Glasgow a linebacker, although we thought he was in the secondary in the spring and in the fall camp. So I'm not certain that they're the same position. And when Josh Ross comes back, I'm interested to see with Josh Uche, Ross, Cam McGrone, Jordan Anthony, where does he fit into this? And then we've got Glasgow. But Michigan needs to have an offense to get their best 11 players in the field. I think Glasgow is a nice guy to have in there. Kind of reminds me maybe like Chase Winovich the year before he was a starter, where he'd come in out of nowhere and make a play, and then he'd be like, or even Josh Uche last year, where every time he got in the game, you thought, man, the Uche is just everywhere. But I don't necessarily think that's the role for Glasgow is to be in every single play like he's been the first 4 games of this year. So next question up, coming up from the movie section. Did Joe Milton look good to you? Yeah, how could you say he didn't look good? I mean, limited opportunity, 1 quarter-ish of play, 4 passes, but 3 of 4 for 75 yards. Hit a freshman, Giles Jackson, for a touchdown. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that you can be satisfied with out of Joe Milton. Also got to sneak in. I mean, he's a huge guy. A lot of people call him the size of a Cam Newton or like a Ben Roethlisberger style quarterback. He's the kind of guy, if you're inside the 5-yard line, you need a quarterback to just either plow forward inside the 2-yard line or quarterback sneak. I'd much rather have a Joe Milton in there than a 6'1", 6'2" Shea Patterson. But I think it's still Shea's team. But you've got to be happy with competent play out of a third stringer. So I think Joe Milton looked good, and I think they should continue to give him snaps and not just garbage time stuff where he runs the ball once or twice on a sweep, but give him the opportunity to pass the ball downfield. Next question up from Ross Hickson. How far do you think the media will drop Michigan after this win? I like this question, Ross. I like this question a lot. We all know there's media bias, and I'll have to look at Rutgers' exact results. I'm going to do that right here. So I know, because I think it's a good question. It will be, Michigan didn't beat them by enough. We're going to drop Michigan from 20 to 22. And, the other side of that is, what team ranked below Michigan, number 20, 21, 22, whatever it is, below Michigan, got a really big win, got a 65-0 win. Rutgers lost to Washington by 2 touchdowns, lost to Eastern Michigan. Oh, gosh, can you imagine that? Then beat Morgan State 65-0. So none of that yet, but we'll see a team ranked 22 that wins, 65-0 instead of 52-0, and they'll jump over Michigan. Nice question, Ross. It proves to me that you're watching the show a lot, so I appreciate that. Guys, I bet on Michigan, and you know why I bet on Michigan? Because I saw in the Action Network app that the public was putting their money on Rutgers, but the big-time gamblers, the guys in Vegas who are putting $100K and $50K per game, they were putting all their money on Michigan. And that is the instant signal. When I see in the Action Network app, it says percentage of bets, percentage of money, right? Bets was like 70%. I don't know the exact final number before the game, but money was in the opposite. It was all going towards Michigan, which means that public was going here, and the big money guys were going on Michigan. So I put my money down on Michigan, say 27.5-point favorite, and they nearly doubled the spread. I think Michigan lost 6 straight games against the spread, which is really tough to do. Did it with the Action Network. 40% off chatsports.com/deal. It's $5.99 a month using our URL, chatsports.com/deal. You will know everything you need to know to put money down on betting college football, NFL, MMA, NBA, college basketball, every single sport you can bet on. They have got the analysis, and they're tracking where the picks are being made at all the big sports books online, like BetDSI, and in Las Vegas. Next question up from God's Child. Will Michigan have a winning record in Big Ten play? Surprisingly, not that crazy of a question to ask, although if you'd asked me this a month ago, I would have said, you crazy. I'm going to take a quick sip of water here, guys. So I'm not licking my lips here in our dry air Michigan Football Report studio. So let's look at it really quick. You've got Iowa, Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State. Who am I missing here? Maryland, Illinois. So I think Maryland from I saw yesterday, and I would guess Illinois. Those are going to be wins. Indiana, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State. Those are some tough games. I think I'm missing maybe one more game. I'll have to pull up Michigan's schedule here momentarily. But I would say yes, but I'm still going to hold back my just outright fandom and drinking the blue Kool-Aid until they do it against a ranked team, do it against a team that they might not otherwise win against. So Maryland, so you got coming up Iowa, Illinois, Penn State, Notre Dame, not a Big Ten game, Maryland, Michigan State, Indiana. So I think I said them all actually. So 2 games into the Big Ten schedule, got 7 left, and then 8th game left is Notre Dame. So you've basically got to win for those 7 out there. So out of Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Iowa, you've got 4 ranked Big Ten teams you got. So you win one of those 4, then you got a big winning record in the Big Ten if you take care of the other ones. Caden Hepler, would you like to see Shea and the offense stay in the game? I think they would have needed more live reps and get into a rhythm. Look, I agree with you here, Caden. I thought when they took Shea out with 276, I thought that he was in such a groove in the first half and had the opportunity to keep piling on in the second half. I know you want to get Joe Milton some snaps, and maybe it signals that Dylan McCaffrey will be out longer than just this 1 week. Maybe that's the reason you get Milton in, but I'd like to see Shea get more opportunities to have live reps because he's going to need it. They've got a lot of tough games coming up. 8 games left, folks. 5 of them against ranked teams. It's not going to be an easy slate. It's basically every other game is against a ranked team from here on out. But, Joe Milton, you get some snaps. There's positives on both sides. But this is the best the offense has looked no matter who the quarterback was. So I think you've got to take it with a grain of salt and see what happens against Iowa. All right, next question. What did you think of Gattis' play calling from Kem Miriam? That's a tough one to pronounce, isn't it? So Ken. I thought Gattis did a good job. He's an assistant coach by nature. He is not an offensive coordinator in the true sense. I know he had that kind of half title over there at Alabama last year for 1 season, but Mike Locksley was the ultimate play caller. We've got our Michigan football grades coming up here in a second, folks, so stick with us for those. I'm going to talk about Don Brown, Jim Harbaugh, Shea Patterson, offense, defense, line, everything. We're going to go through those here in a moment. Kem, I think Gattis did good. You're going to see coming up in the grades that Gattis had a really nice grade from me, but you're not going to see me this week just kind of diving into the blue Kool-Aid and saying everything is all well with Michigan. It was 5 games against ranked teams down the stretch over the next 2 months. He's going to have to have this kind of play calling and get a lot better because the talent will be 2 times as good, if not 5 times as good when you end the season against Ohio State. So those were our first set of Michigan football Q&A questions. We're going to stick with us here, though, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. We've got 2 more Q&A sessions coming towards the end of the show. Hey there, Michigan football fans. Thanks so much for watching the Michigan Football Report. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got Michigan football news, rumors, recruiting information, and inside access to the Michigan football program. You ready for another Michigan football video? I got you hooked up right here. Go Blue.